Nicho, what are the most common gaps you have seen so far in pharma companies? And I think just biotech in general, that's something I'm curious about as well. If there's, now that you've worked with so many, are there frequent gaps that you see or frequent issues that are unique to the industry?
So I would say the biggest one tends to be where data is managed and the team that actually supports that. So if you think about big pharmaceutical companies, they're very likely going to have their own internal data teams, their analytics teams, so they have a big team to support those initiatives. But you start going down to some of the very early stage, even some of the mid-market, it's very rare to see a dedicated analytics team supporting that organization, which then sometimes that falls to IT, it falls to independent contractors. And what you end up finding, though, is that a lot of these companies aren't getting the scale of analytics that they actually need. And then you start going around the organization and asking questions. It's like you find people are still manually doing stuff in spreadsheets. They're downloading. I talked to someone who's a director of analytics, which is a director of commercial analytics, which is a very common title in that they're responsible for analyzing all the commercial data, providing recommendations to the ELT, to the board. Yeah. And so one of the ones I was talking to is like, well, Nicho, I spend 60% or more of my week downloading and waiting for data. And I can't help but laugh. I mean, this is some years ago, but the idea is this is a highly compensated person. You're talking, salaries, 200,000, 300,000 that they're paying this person essentially manipulate data that's a very repeatable and manual process otherwise. And so those are the opportunities where I saw a lot of these companies are, in the $50 to $1 billion in revenue, and they're still struggling with some of those core foundational processes and doing things in Excel. So that's why I say there's so much opportunity when you can bring in the right team, and it doesn't have to be this full-blown $1 million consulting team to go do things. And that's how we approach this with more of a fractional data